Once upon a time, deep in the Sparkle Mountains, lived a small, chubby, bright green dragon named Flint. Now, most dragons loved roaring loud, breathing fire, and collecting shiny rocks. But Flint, he was different. He didn't like roaring because it scared the birds away. He didn't like breathing fire because it frightened the butterflies, and he thought shiny rocks were, well, a bit boring after a day. What Flint truly loved was something very unusual for a dragon. He loved fairies. He admired their tiny, delicate wings, their soft, warm glow, and their sweet, tinkling giggles. Whenever he saw fairies dancing in the air above the forest, he'd sigh and whisper to himself, "I wish I was a fairy too." One morning, Flint woke up with a grand idea. Today, he declared, "I will become a fairy." He packed a little bag with his favorite leaf pancakes and some blueberry juice. He put a pretty pink flower behind his horn, thinking fairies would appreciate the gesture. Then, with his heart full of hope, he marched down the mountain toward the legendary Fairy Valley. As he walked, some birds chirped kindly. "Where are you going, little dragon?" Flint replied proudly, "To become a fairy." The birds looked a bit surprised, but wished him the best of luck. When Flint finally arrived at Fairy Valley, he found the fairies practicing their morning dances. They all stopped and stared when they saw a dragon, the size of a small hill, marching into their home. Dragons almost never visited. The fairies thought dragons only cared for big, loud, and shiny things. But Flint gave them a sweet smile and a polite bow. "Hello," he said. "I want to be a fairy. Please teach me." The fairies gasped. A tiny fairy with purple wings named Pippa flew closer. "Why do you want to be a fairy?" she asked, her voice bright and curious. Flint answered honestly, "Because fairies are kind, gentle, and magical. I want to help others, just like you do." The fairies whispered amongst themselves. A dragon becoming a fairy? It seemed impossible. But Pippa believed in kindness, and she believed in dreams. "All right," she announced. "We'll give you a fairy test. If you can pass all the tasks, we'll make you an honorary fairy." Flint's tail wiggled with pure joy. "I can do it, I promise." The first task was gentle flying. Fairies fly softly, like petals on the wind. Flint tried to flap his huge wings gently, but every time he took off, a giant gust of wind blew through the valley. Fairies spun around like tiny tops, and a mushroom house even rolled down a hill. "Oh no, I'm so sorry," he cried, landing quickly. Pippa just giggled. "It's okay, try again." But after 5 more tries, Flint sighed. Maybe dragons are just too big to fly gently. The second task was sparkle magic. Fairies create sparkles from love and happiness. Flint concentrated with all his might. He scrunched up his face until his snout turned pink. Suddenly, poof, he let out a giant sneeze, and a burst of glittering green smoke covered everything in slime. The fairies looked like shiny green frogs. Flint was horrified. "I ruined it." But Pippa just shook the slime off her wings and laughed. "It's messy, but it's still magic. Very dragon-style magic." The third and most important task was helping someone in need. "This is what being a fairy is all about," Pippa explained. The group ventured into the forest and soon heard a faint cry. A baby unicorn was stuck between 2 large rocks. The fairies tried using their magic to move the rocks, but they were just too heavy. That's when Flint stepped in. With his strong dragon claws and a gentle heart, he carefully lifted the rocks, freeing the little unicorn without a scratch. The baby unicorn nuzzled him happily and said, "Thank you, big fairy dragon." Back in the valley, Pippa flew up to Flint's face. "You may not fly like us, and you may not sparkle like us," she said, "but you have the biggest fairy heart we have ever seen." All the other fairies cheered. "Flint, Flint, fairy dragon, Flint." They sprinkled him with golden dust that made his scales shimmer beautifully, and gave him a tiny wand made from a sunflower stem. "It glows when you do something kind," Pippa told him. As Flint held it, the wand lit up brightly. From that day on, Flint was the first ever fairy dragon. He used his strength to help creatures in need and his big wings to gently bring rain to thirsty flowers. He still didn't look like a fairy, but he finally felt like he belonged. Because as Pippa always said, you don't need tiny wings to be a fairy. You just need a kind heart. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed Flint's story, please like this video and subscribe for more magical tales. See you next time.